Now that you know how to convert between percents, decimals, and fractions, I want to think about the concept of all. This is talked about a lot in probability, which is covered in Intro to Statistics, a class that a lot of our students end up taking. So when we do probability, we don't often use percentages. We'll use the decimal and the fraction instead. So let's think about, what is 98% as a decimal? 99% as a decimal. And as a fraction, I'm going to leave them unreduced. And let's think about a little more than all. So 101%, if I were to change that to a decimal, I would move my decimal spot 0.2 spots. So I'd have 1.01. And 102% would be 1.02. And the fractions, I'd have 1 and 1/100th, and 1 and 2/100ths. So what is all? What is the decimal that goes with all? Well, you can kind of see 0.98, 0.99, 1.01. What's going to be here? 1. 1.001. Again, the fraction, 100 over 100, or 1. 100% is the same as the decimal 1, which is hard in probability because when we say, if the chance of rain today is 100%, that means it's going to rain. But we don't use that language. We usually say, the chance of rain today is 1. So you have to start thinking of 1 as being all. And that, if you can understand that concept now, it will help you a lot when you do get to probability. So let's practice. Change from a percent to a decimal. One thing that you can do is make yourself a little note. To change to a decimal, you want to move your decimal place 2 places left. So to change from a percent to a decimal, 25%, right now the decimal point is right there. So if I go 2 spots to the left, it will be right there. 25% is the same thing as 0.25. 179%, right now the decimal point is right there. Move 2 to the left. 1.79. Again, if you have a number larger than 1, remember 1 is 100%. So 1.79, that's 179%. This is one that's used in business sometimes when you're figuring out Social Security. 4.2%, 2 spots to the left. Now, if you go 2 spots to the left and there's a space, an empty space, you put a 0 in it. So 4.2% is 0.042. 0.02%. Oh, we're going to get a really small number here. 2 spots to the left, put zeros in. So our answer is 0.0002. 0.02% is 0.0002. To go from fractions to decimals, we just divide. Top divided by bottom. 1 divided by 2. 0.5. 4 divided by 4 is 1. Or 100%. The chances are 4 out of 4 that something's going to happen. The chances are 100% or 1 that it will happen. 4/9 and 9/4. I put these two on here. I want to review the fact that 4/9 will be a number less than 1. 9/4, since it's an improper fraction, will be a number greater than 1. 4/9. 4 divided by 9. 0.4 repeating. 9 divided by 4, either on a calculator or by hand. 9 divided by 4 is 2.25. Again, it's an improper fraction. It's going to be a number greater than 1. To change from a decimal to a percent, write yourself a little note. You want to move that decimal place 2 places right. So 0.45, 2 places right is 45%. .065, this is an income tax example, or I'm sorry, a sales tax example. 2 places right, 6.5%. The number 4, the decimal point is right here. So 2 places right, I put zeros in the spots. This would be 400%. Again, if 1 is 100%, it makes sense that 4 is 400%. Point 1. A common wrong answer here I will get is 1%. That's not right. You have to move 2 places. 1, 2. Put in a 0. Point 1 is the same thing as 10%. To go from a fraction to a percent, first change to a decimal by dividing, then change to a percent by moving 2 places right. So 1/3. 1 divided by 3, either on my calculator or a lot of times people will memorize this one, is 0.3 repeating. Now you move your decimal place 2 spots to the right. You get 33.3 repeating percent. Or 0.3 repeating is 1/3. Sometimes this will be written 33 1/3%. 7/10. 7 divided by 10 is 0.7. That's changed to a decimal. Now move your decimal place 2 places to the right. Put in a 0. 70%. 7/10 is the same as 70%. 7/8. Remember, this is not an improper fraction. I should get a number less than 1 here. 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. Change it to a percent by moving your decimal place 2 places. 87.5%. So 7/8 is the same as 87.5%. 8/3. When I change, it's an improper fraction. I should get a number greater than 1. 8 divided by 3 is 2.6 repeating. To change to a percent, move your decimal place 2 places. .266 repeating percent. This piece right here, 0.6 repeating, that's the same as 2/3. So another way that people sometimes write this is 266 2/3%. To change from a percent to a fraction, again, we first change to a decimal and then change to a fraction. 29%, there's the decimal place. Move it 2 places left. 0.29. To change that to a fraction, just say the fraction. 29, that's the hundredths place, so that's 29 hundredths. We would reduce if possible. 80%. Change to a decimal first, move it 2 spots left, that's 0.8. Change that to a fraction by just saying the name of the decimal. That 8 is in the 10ths spot, so that's 8/10. Reduce to get 4/5. 10%. Move your decimal place 2 places. 10% is the same as 0.1, which is 1/10. 0.5%. Move your decimal place 2 places left. 0.005. To change to a fraction, just say the name of the decimal. So let's see. 10ths place, hundredths place, thousandths place. So this is 5 thousandths. I can reduce by dividing both top and bottom by 5. So I get 1 over 200. 89 hundredths. Again, look at the place value here. That's the hundredths place. So I have 89 hundredths. Reduce if you can. This is in the tenths spot. So that's 6 tenths. Reduce 3/5. 1.12. A couple of ways to do this. This 2 is in the hundredths. So you can make 112 hundredths. Reduce, and you get 28 25ths. You could also say it's 1 and 12 hundredths, and then reduce that. 0.008. Tenths, hundredths, thousandths. So that's the thousandths spot. 8 thousandths. Which reduces to 1 over 125.